This is Rod White for Mining Journal, and I have the pleasure of interviewing my friend, Bruce Griffin, who is the Executive Chairman of Sheffield Resources, and that's a mineral sands company. And the thing about investors at conferences like this is there's very few mineral sands companies. So, Bruce, could you tell us a bit about mineral sands?
Mineral sands, really two main commodity groups, so titanium dioxide and zircon. Titanium dioxide predominantly it's an opacifier, it's what makes paint, paper and plastics non-transparent. Zircon, similarly used as an opacifier, main use, half of it, opacifier for ceramics. So if you think about anything that's shiny and white in a bathroom, that will have a lot of zircon in it. And then there's some industrial applications that use for foundries and refractories and things like that as well.
Yeah, but these are real.
Yeah,
They're real minerals,
th-
and they got real markets, but they don't trade on the London and the commodity exchange.
no, they don't. They're probably the largest of the specialty minerals. They're decent sized markets. They're they're needed for their intrinsic physical properties. For what you need them for, you really need them. As you say, they're not screen traded, but they're pretty deep markets these days, and pretty exciting place to play.
And what about the supply-demand situation? Because in most metals these days, the industry's underinvested. Is it the same with mineral sands?
Yeah, I mean, underinvestment and also now reaching maturity of a number of the large existing producers.
The
Yeah,
traditional Australian operations.
correct. If the way to think about it, particularly on the zircon side, there's three producers that represent 55% of supply: Iluka, Tronox, and Rio Tinto at Richards Bay in South Africa, and those are all quite mature assets. They're either working quite hard to invest to maintain supply, and particular in the case of Iluka with Jacinth Ambrosia in South Australia, that mine only has a couple of years left and will soon deplete. And to put it in context, that mine alone would take two Thunderbird Stage 1s to just replace it volumetrically.
Yes, but it's also, you have to explain Thunderbird because
Correct.
Sheffield
Yeah.
Resources, you saw that Iluka was running out of reserves and you located a project in one of the best jurisdictions in the world,
Hmm.
the Kimberley region of Western Australia, with good ports, good infrastructure, near to the ports, and a large zircon-rich project. That's what you took on. So explain the value proposition of Sheffield Resources.
Yeah, so Sheffield Resources, we own half of the Thunderbird project, which, as you've said, Rod, is one of it is the largest zircon reserve in the world. It's about 50% larger than Namakwa Sands, which is the largest current
Hmm.
operation. It's very high grade. It's very well conveniently located to ports. When I took it on, the potential was there. What it needed was a little bit of a reconfiguration to figure out what the right products were and the right development strategy was, and obviously helped them with that. And then we brought in a very high quality partner in.
And you shaved 118 million off the capital cost that was there for the previous owners.
Yeah, correct. And part of coming up with the right um, uh, option for developing it was thinking about, I have a bit of a view that you should do the least processing you possibly can. It minimizes capital, particularly for early stage or for greenfield projects. And we saw the opportunity to make concentrates that other people could do further processing on, and that allowed us to significantly reduce the capital over what it had previously been
But in actual fact,
anticipated.
it's an extremely simple mining project. I'm amazed because you get all your gas from the Northwest Shelf. It gets trucked to your project.
Mm.
It's low cost, open pit strip mining with virtually no overburden. Your infrastructure is ideal because you've got a choice of ports, but you've sorted out the distribution and you've sorted out the offtake. So, I mean, technically at the moment, your net present value at stage one is 720 million,
That's 20.
420
Yeah.
million. your capitalisation's 200 million, and you've got substantial upside because that valuation's only on phase one. And you got phase two with the expansion of the Kimberley project, and then you got phase 2A with the project in Brazil. So this is probably, with 1 year to go to production, is probably the lowest risk mining project in the world, I would think.
I mean, certainly we are now very close to production. We wanted to get through the last wet season, which we largely are now, and you're actually less than a year to production now. Production before the end of the year and sales to customers Q1 next year. And as you said, you know, we trade at 50%, less than 50% of the value of the thing that's 75, probably 80% complete as we stand today. We're not seeing the value for those future opportunities, which are of a similar scale. You know, we're looking at, it's not just MPV, it's cash generation as well. These are assets that will generate significant amount of cash. You know, probably
120
million a year from stage one alone, you know, 50-60% of current market cap and annual cash generation. You'll be able to
pay the money back and pay dividends in no time.
Yeah, we expect the debt to be repaid by 2027, dividends from us to us from the joint venture in 26.
And then you've got phase two growth, same again, lower capital cost. Then you got phase 2A with Brazil, which is a similar size project. Yes, it's an incredible value proposition, Bruce, but we've run out of time.
Thank you, Rod.
Okay.
Thank you.